Guys, today is a very, very important day. It's my dog's first birthday.
Pluto.
Let's fucking go, dude. Ready?
And
One, two. Oh,
three.
skiddly do. Happy birthday to you. He's laying on the ground. You can't really see anything. But what I'll do is I'll get my phone out and start recording a video, and then we can sort of put it in like picture in picture. Happy birthday to
he's gonna eat it.
you.
What do we got in there? What's in there?
Okay, Harrison, would
It's
you
like
mind?
What do you want me to do?
Can you give this to him?
Give it to him? Yeah.
What's in it?
Today, for Pluto's birthday platter,
Bacon in it.
there's bacon
Ooh.
bits, blueberries, whipped cream, a doggy treat, and I think that's it.
That's like the most foul mix of
Who the fuck?
But, I mean,
He loves it.
yeah, he's going for it.
You know, as we talked about in previous episodes, he almost didn't make it to 1 year old. I'm really
happy to
grateful
see it.
that he did. And Harrison, I heard you did a dick piercing today.
Okay, we're gonna let's start the show. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Manly Things,
Of sorts.
podcast where we're talking fantasy football.
I always
everyone.
fucking throw you off with
I know.
however I say it because we never talk
I
about
always
it
take a
before.
little bit of a breath. Yeah. We're talking fantasy football. I had my draft yesterday. What about you guys? Fantasy.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've
Okay.
heard it
Can't
talked
tell
about
you.
a lot,
Okay.
but
the
it's
NFL.
not on my palate.
No, we're talking men's fashion today, and we've got Harrison McCall,
Let's
the
go,
piercer,
baby.
piercer of all piercers.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're talking tattoos, accessories, piercings, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Before
that.
we get to all that, as Pluto's going to town
sorry.
on that birthday treat, what are we wearing today?
I am wearing just a cool shirt that I found online. I don't know who it's by, what it is.
I thought it was gonna be like a band of some
Nah,
sort.
I just thought it looked cool.
I like
And
it.
then I got these jeans from a punk store in New York City. I think it was Search and Destroy.
Dope. Okay.
And then these are just some shoes with skeleton feet on them.
Wow.
They're by this pro skater. His name's Antoine Dixon.
Hmm.
And he makes lots of cool shoes. One of my favorite skaters.
A very non-specific style.
Yeah, no, I kind of go all over the place. I just like whatever I think looks cool. I'm not like crazy about it. You know?
Is it daily? Is this like a daily?
Well, yeah. I mean, always like black or like looking, I guess, punkish or whatever. Like,
But-
I always try to.
I see him on a daily basis. There's no reason you should know why, but I see him on a daily basis. The accessories that he pulls off, sometimes he pulls off like harnesses,
Yeah.
chains
Every
and
now
shit
and then.
hanging from
Cool.
pants. This
Yeah.
guy,
We got the right guy for this kind of episode.
Yeah.
kind of
I
think we
hope
did.
so.
Sally, talk about the cardigan, the whole look,
I
the
can't
sweating,
fucking breathe in
everything.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, today I'm wearing my R13 Kurt shoes, whatever the fuck they're called. These are from Target, these socks. Then I got these pants, shorts today from H. Lorenzo, my favorite spot. They are called, this brand is called Entire Studios. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. You
like 'em.
should. They're great. Then I got this shirt from Target and this from All Saints.
Nice.
And then,
does it have the logo on it?
No.
Nice. It's
Come
kind of a
on.
hard. Like usually they have their logos on things,
It
And-
might. I haven't really
but I
looked.
can't. It's usually on like on the breast. I can't see anything.
Hey, now.
I like it.
Then I have my Cherry LA hat, and these are a very coveted piece of accessory,
I like
I
those.
think is what I'm saying. These are vintage LA eyeworks, really hard to find. If you do find them, they go for about like $2 million, so good luck, buddy.
Respect.
Yourself.
I just got some new pants, and I like them a lot. They look like they've been worn in. Double RL, double front pants that I like workers pants. These are my favorite boots of all time. Before I got into cowboy boots, I wore these every day. They're like vintage military boots from a place that used to be on La Brea. It's not there anymore. So that and a Dior jacket that I'm trying to wear in that's not going too well. And I'm representing the Bronco, my Ford Bronco that's out there, and I have a old vintage one. And yeah,
Why is it not wearing well?
I was
Why-
telling Sam this, where I like all my stuff kind of beat up, and you can tell like just based off of what I'm wearing. And I love this jacket. and I love the logo that Kim Jones has come up with. And I'm realizing that obviously it's an expensive piece and it's not meant to be broken in. And I'm realizing that like it's kind of going. I'm fighting a losing battle if that makes any sense. Yeah, but I've traveled with it all over the world and it's still not going anywhere.
Speaking of expensive pieces, maybe we should start talking about our expensive
accessories.
Pieces.
Yes. Between watches, bracelets, necklaces, piercing experiences, that whole thing, tattoos, which
body
mods.
For sure.
Dude, wait. There's going to be a moment in this show where I'm going to go, hey, Harrison, why don't you show him this? And you're going to go, what the fuck, dude? But we'll get there.
Okay,
we'll see.
First and foremost, Harrison, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you work, and what do you do?
I am a body piercer, professional body piercer. Been doing it for almost 6 years now. I work at Weezyouttahere. Currently, been there for 2 years. I've worked in other stores. Like I worked in OC for a little while. I've worked in South Carolina. That's where I'm from originally. Originally from South Carolina. Was there for like 20 years, and then I moved out here to just do better with piercing because there's a much bigger market for it here. Obviously,
it's great.
So yeah, that's me.
When you were in South Carolina, the market, was it like children's piercing, women getting earlobes?
Players.
Were there like experimental?
I mean, it was everything, but like people, especially from the area that I was in, are not willing to spend money for it. So that's the big thing. Yeah.
Money on the jewelry or the service? Because
everything. Yeah. They're just like, you tell them, they get a piercing, you're like, all right, your total is $75. And they're like, what? And they're like, excuse me?
They take this shit out.
$75. Yeah, straight up. That's how it is.
So moving then to LA, why do you think piercing and like jewelry and tattooing is more valuable here compared to your hometown?
I think it has a lot to do with just the money here in general. But I think people are willing to because of the money, but also I feel like it's just like it's ingrained in LA's society and history. Like everyone here does it. I mean, it's like such a melting pot of like super interesting and unique people,
Are there a lot of OGs here?
I'd say so.
Very cool.
When you say OGs, what do you mean by OGs?
OG piercers, like from the 90s.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
well, there is, but a lot of them have kind of gone away from the limelight. They kind of hide now. But yeah, I mean, there's the first ever actual piercing shop was in LA. It was called the Gauntlet.
Oh,
yeah.
That's still here, right?
I don't believe so. Yeah,
definitely not. I'm Reagan, fact check it.
Yeah, and fact check me because it was either LA or San Francisco, one of the two, where the Gauntlet first started.
Thank you,
Have you
Reagan.
spent time in San Francisco at all?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay.
Going all the way back to South Carolina, when, why, and how did you start to get into piercing?
Well, I was always interested in it. I was like always, I guess people would say a weird kid, So it was, ever since just from living there and not having a lot of people that do that kind of thing very heavily, when I would see it when I was a kid, it would like really, really catch my eye and really, really interest me. It just, I always thought it was the coolest thing ever. Just piercings, tattoos, body mods, cool clothes, all that stuff. So I just kind of, it wasn't always the plan. My plan was to go into the military and do medical field stuff, like do trauma surgery and that kind of thing. But that didn't happen. Life happened. So I started, working towards the piercing thing because that seemed more obtainable at the time.
Both of those concentrations, piercing and military trauma surgery, they're pretty specific when it comes to like, do I say gore or do I say
yeah, that's a big part of it. I think that's part of the reason that people like me are so attracted to it. It's not like in a weird like I want to make you bleed type of way. It's just always, it's very interesting, just the human body and what you can do with it, how you can keep one alive, that kind of thing. And that all ties in with piercings on like the way that you can heal them, the way your body doesn't want this object, but you're still healing it somehow. And that's where you start to get into the more deep stuff, like, you get rejection and keloids and all that good stuff. But I mean, it's just, I always thought it was the coolest thing that you can throw a piece of metal in your body and your body will just make a scar tissue tunnel around it and heal it.
When were you into music? Did you play any instruments, or you said you
I wanted
a fan
to.
of a skateboarder? Like,
Yeah,
did
yeah.
you skate too?
Yeah. I used to skateboard a lot. I did growing up. We had like a skate park in my town that I was on the skate team for. We would like travel around up and down the East Coast and do contests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was like a huge part of my life, along with music and just that type of, like, what's the word for it? I guess like
Culture.
Yeah, it's culture, but I just mean like the underground type, like Misfits culture, that kind of thing, It just always
like almost like the opposite, like pop culture. Like
the
Yeah,
opposite.
right.
Of pop,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But so that was just always super interesting to me, and just I always resonated with it a lot.
It's great to hear you explain all of this, because you would think like piercing is primarily known as like going to the back of a tattoo shop,
Right.
finding that person that doesn't look like a person that you want to pierce you, but you're like, did they know what the fuck they're doing? I don't really know. But having him explain like the amount of time and patience that he's put into learning the anatomy and like everything about the human body in order to do his job safely, that I think is what is expected, and a lot of piercers nowadays focus on.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten a lot more advanced, especially like the past 10 years. I don't know if you guys know this, but piercing started in like the 70s with the gay BDSM scene. It started with them doing genital piercings, nipple piercings, all that for like the leather clubs.
Wow.
So that's
There
modern.
were people pioneering that? Like,
Yeah.
in LA or
That's
California.
basically where the Gauntlet came from, because Jim Ward is the owner of the Gauntlet. He's the one who started it, and he started being the guy to go to for all your genital and nipple piercings for the BDSM, gay,
Oh, this is
leather club.
exciting. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt. We have an exciting development. The Twisted Tea has just arrived, folks. All right. We had a quick cut because I started shitting myself. I couldn't come up with any topics. We got the Twisted Tea.
Our guest requested Twisted Tea, so I'm gonna have. Would you want a Twisted Tea?
No, I'll have my victory that I
I'll
put
take
in there.
one. Thank you.
So, did you go to any schooling or training, or like what does a piercer body mod artist have to do in order to, what is it, get a degree, a certificate?
Yeah, so unfortunately, it's not how it should be. Nobody actually goes to school for it. So basically, it's been like that since modern body piercing started. It's like you find someone who knows what the fuck they're doing, and you just start following them around. That's really all it is. I mean, it's obviously evolved into more of like, like boss or like mentor apprentice type of relationship. But that's really all it is. You just get an apprenticeship, you follow someone around who you like and who knows what they're doing, and you just learn from them. It's hard to get one nowadays, because I feel like it's becoming a dying art. Like, maybe not piercing so much, but definitely body modification. It's hard to find someone willing to put in the time and effort to teach someone. That's tough.
Is body modification flourishing in any other parts of the world?
Oh, for sure, especially like Europe, Germany.
Why do you think it's dying in America?
I don't think it's dying. I think that I guess you could say it's dying. I mean, that less and less people, I feel like, are doing it and like teaching it and innovating in it, because like, say, like in like the early 2000s, there was this website called BME, Body Modification. I forgot what the E stands for, but it was basically a forum where everyone would share all the body mods that they did. And during that time, it was so much innovation, so much of people just trying shit, just like trying to make things work, just seeing what would stick and what wouldn't. And I guess after, because the owner of that website died, and then that went away, and then I think from there it's been like a steady decline. But I'm doing my best to try to keep it alive. Me and my friends and people that I know in the community, we're trying to. I think it's good, but it could be better.
Do you have any body modification?
Get ready, dude.
Do I? I have
yeah.
a couple. Yeah.
Okay.
Show them off.
I have my tongue split in half. That would be.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh shit!
And then I have some implants on my thumbs.
Oh yeah.
These little
amazing.
ribs. I have a magnet on my hand I used to use to hold needles and stuff like that.
And actually, like works like you use
Yeah,
it on a
yeah.
daily
If you can
basis.
find a paper clip, I'll show you.
Oh yeah, I got safety clips.
Or something like that.
You started where you started. I'm not really sure, like, luxury wise, or like, or
Right.
if you were in the back of a tattoo.
Yeah, no,
shop.
I didn't start luxury for sure. I never thought I would be doing it.
Yeah, and here you are now in a super, I think, high end place.
One of the highest ends that you can really be, honestly. Like, especially from my experience, it's the highest end place I've ever been to.
Which
sure.
means
Yeah.
you might have some celebrity clients. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah, every now and then. Every now and then we get some cool people in here.
Can you name, let's say, top 3?
I guess the top one would be Cardi B,
Let's
obviously.
go, baby.
Yeah.
And what did you do? Pierce her nipples,
Nipples.
baby.
I did her Monroe piercing. I did a couple of her stuff on her ears. Yeah, she's super cool, super nice, like down to earth, chill. Like not what I thought A-list giant celebrity would be. So she's super cool. Then I guess it would be next would be like Mia Khalifa.
Damn!
Who else? God, how am I forgetting her name? The girl from can you look it up for me? The girl from The Fifth Element, her name's Mila Jovovich.
Shit.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking wild.
Yeah, so it's full circle because I actually named my cat after her character in that movie, and then she came in to get piercings, and I got to like be like, hey, I named my cat after you.
That's so dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and a couple like other people here and there. But yeah, those were the big ones for sure.
What are these people getting done? Obviously, we just talked about nipples and Monroes, but is it generally
Mostly ears? Yeah, mostly that's what everyone's like. That's like the buzz right now. Everyone wants to do like super fancy ear curations, and especially like the, celebrities and richer people and stuff like that, because it's becoming more accepted to be able to do that kind of stuff and actually fill your ears and adorn your body with really cool jewelry and be yourself and be unique in that way. So yeah. With
you being at Maria Tash, do you almost have like a little bit of a side business? Like, can some of these people, or it would be celebrities or regular people, almost do like house calls and like, hire you outside of Maria Tash?
That's tricky, just because you can't really do it like safely if you don't have like a nice sterile room that's clean and non-porous, and you have your statum and your sterilization and all that. So that's a gray area.
Okay. That's why we our idea was to have you pierce Sally here.
Yeah,
and you shot that down real quick.
I mean,
I don't really want a bacterial infection.
Yeah,
because who knows what kind of feeder.
Yeah.
And then you got dogs and stuff in here.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
exactly. That would be not the best idea.
Back to body. Go ahead.
I did find I have a safety pin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
Camera here. Let's see if I can find it.
Damn, that's sick. That's awesome.
Harry Houdini right here.
And
Let's go, baby.
And you think that you'd have like a little bit of a lisp with your tongue split like that, but nothing at all.
Oh, really? You don't
Yeah.
think so?
I don't
think I have a
think-
little
do you
bit
hear
of
it?
one.
Well, we don't know you prior
Oh,
to
okay,
the tongue
yeah,
split,
yeah.
so he
Yeah, now I'm
may
gonna
have
be-
talked
now I'm
like
gonna
a
be listening.
proper
Yeah,
British
you
man.
never. Nah, I had a southern accent, but yeah, I think it honestly, like, it was way easier than you think, and what I thought as well. It's like, now that I've had it done for so long, it just feels so natural, and I feel like I've always been like this. It's just so much better to have it split, I think. I mean, because it's like no one really even knows about it until you show them too, so it can be subtle. Like, you don't have to, be a weirdo to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was around you for an hour, and I didn't notice that you had.
Yeah,
your tongue split.
yeah.
Can you talk more on body modification, specifically, like, what was the original intention, and what is the idea of body modification? Because speaking of BME, a show that I listened to brought it up like last week, and it was explained more as like people doing body modification and whoever did the most painful. They related it to the Pain Olympics.
Yeah, that's how actually Pain Olympics came out of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, why?
That's like, it's a tough question because it's different for everyone, honestly. But that's
Do you know what
more
Pain
like,
Olympics is?
No, I was gonna ask.
Oh
you
God,
explain it?
you missed it. Okay.
Very briefly, if you can.
Yeah, so basically it was just like in like the early 2000s, like internet basically just started, and people started sharing videos of just doing like the most heinous shit to themselves, like just seeing who could take the most pain. And so there ended up being videos going around of people like cutting their dicks off and like shit like that. Just it was crazy.
But it was all hosted on this site and respected as.
Yeah, I think it was more of like an offshoot from it, because I don't think Shannon Larott was really super into that whole thing, but it was definitely part of it, I feel like. And yeah, it especially in the, like I said, like when it started, like the early 2000s, I think it was more of just like who can be the most extreme. And you know, body modification is different for everyone, but I think it has a lot to do with just being that extreme and being an individual. And you know, it also goes way back to, you know, tribes have been piercing themselves and tattooing themselves for thousands of years. So it's just, I think, a part of the human experience to want to change yourself in some way, and the way that you feel on the inside, you know?
Well, even like looking at your ears and the gauges that you have, I feel like if you look at some of like, I mean, National Geographic with like some of the African
I was going to bring
like,
that up. There's plenty of
Indian,
Asian tribes that utilize body modification as a sign of respect or a sign of.
It's it can be like respect. It can be like rite of passage. It can be like becoming a man. It could be like you just did a really good hunt and you got a big deer. You know, like there's.
Does that all come under the umbrella of body modification as we know it in America, or is that a separate entity?
Well, I think it. I mean, it all started from that. That's like where it all stems from. But I think body modification is a little bit more extreme, and just, I mean, I think it all comes from that. But there's obviously like the little offshoots, like tattoo, piercing, body mod, branding, all that cool stuff. There's definitely offshoots, but I think at the end of the day, it's all rooted in that. It's all rooted in, you know, just what people have been doing for thousands of years, which is changing themselves to feel more comfortable.
Yeah. I always go back to like the image of like a woman with like the rings around her neck, and like how it just gets elongated. And I think it is like almost like a showing of status, I think.
Yep.
So I'm actually interested in getting a new piercing soon. We talked about getting one done now, but how much would it cost me to do anything? What a fucking horrible question.
Has he already pierced you though?
No.
I don't think I've ever had that. That's crazy. We need to do that one day.
We've
for sure.
threatened it quite a few times, and
I've threatened him
out.
with like I've threatened him with really cool shit, but he always
like you'll come to him with an idea.
Like,
I go, dude, what about this? And he goes, hell yeah, dude. A week later, I go,
and he's like,
I don't fucking know, dude. So how much would I be paying if I were not a pussy?
Like I said, I mean, are you talking about with like jewelry that I give you or Maria Tosh gives you?
Well, first let's start with services.
Okay.
What's like a ballpark range of services?
It can go anywhere from $20 to $150 for a single piercing service.
What's $150?
That would be like more like genitals and implants and dermals and stuff like that.
It seems really cheap, doesn't it? Like
that's just for the service, though. I mean, it
technically and
technically
you're paying for like the actual like
the jewelry is separate. But technically, yeah, if you're talking about like, you know, just service mixed with like, you know, some titanium jewelry, at the end of the day, it is kind of cheap.
Yeah.
Well,
for
what we're doing.
And I'm thinking about like tattoos. So like tattoos, I feel like at least like really expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously very permanent.
Yeah.
But I feel like the same would be for piercings, no?
It should be.
Yeah.
Get the piercers paid more, right?
Facts. There's several different markets, I think, when it comes to piercing and tattooing. There's the luxury where in the tattooing world, they fucking anesthetize you and you're knocked out for 4 hours and 5 tattoo artists are working on an entire body piece. Right. Then there's like luxury piercing where you get your own room and like an escort with champagne and everything.
Yeah.
So I was walking by a place in West Hollywood. I think it was called like Cleopatra or something. The general piercing was $350
for the service.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's news to me.
If say you're a business owner, because probably eventually you'll want to own your own shop. Is there a ratio in which you're supposed to work on? Like service has to be this amount in order to create the margin?
Yeah. I think that there's a big margin for it. Just depends on what jewelry you have in stock, because at the end of the day, like if you have like, the type of jewelry that we have at Maria Tosh, you don't have to charge much for the services. But if you have like, the next level down, which would be like, just like solid gold stuff or titanium or, whatever, you would have to probably charge more to break even and, start to make a profit and things like that. So I think it just depends on where you go and what jewelry you get.
So now, you being in that luxury world, does a lower service fee and higher jewelry price benefit you, or do you make money off of other things like tips? Or
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on where you work. Like, so say Maria Tosh, for example, I just make an hourly and then plus tips. So, but that's not the normal for body piercing. The normal is usually you rent a booth in a tattoo or a piercing shop. You pay rent every month, and then you get a commission for every piercing and every jewelry you sell. So you're getting like tip plus commission. You get a percentage of the things you sell and what you do. So that's usually how it goes.
With Maria Tash, obviously leans more towards females, right?
Yes, for sure.
I kind of want to talk about brands for a second, because I feel like nowadays jewelry goes almost like clothing, to where guys can wear females things and women can wear men's things, right?
And non-binary people can wear non-binary things, dude. Come on.
It's 2024. Yes, my fault. But yeah, I think we obviously shout out Maria Tash so much, and like I've bought guys stuff there for like whether it be just like simple stuff.
Yeah.
Are you wearing Maria Tash stuff?
I have her seam rings in my nose.
Yeah. Okay.
And I have one right here, and then I have her. I forgot what did you know what it's called?
Some hoop in your ear? I don't really know.
The 3-1. You don't know what it's called?
Oh, okay. My bad, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like guys can kind of go wherever they want, and if they see something they like, try it on, obviously, and if you like it, great. We're gonna Vogue did a really good article back in June, a good article just talking about brands that I think are like we should highlight a little bit. When I pull for some of my celebrity guys, I do think jewelry is very personal. So I rarely will bring, whether it be necklaces, rings, bracelets, because I feel like, I don't know, it would just be weird for me to wear jewelry for a minute and then be shot in that and then just give it back, It's
true. You do see jewelry as a completely different thing than I would and he would.
Yeah.
Me personally, it like elevates the look because it's like the metallic sheen. It's that texture that stands out amongst like the thing that we know best. And I mean, we have people obviously showing out full force with dermals on their faces. And so what do you see piercing and tattooing and body modification as, like an accessory? Do you see it as an elevation to your look? Do you see it as an expression of identity?
Yeah, I think it's all of that, honestly. But like, I think for me, I let the piercing, body modification, tattoos, I let that all do most of my talking for my style. I feel like, because I feel like that does the heavy lifting, and then I can just wear black shit and combat boots and tux and docks and all that.
Do you have
it looks cool?
Do you have an end goal? Because we could reference so many people, like R.I.P. The cat guy.
Yeah.
The guy who was in the Lady Gaga music video.
Yeah. Lots of them.
What is the end goal?
I don't think I'm gonna do anything crazy like that, but I'm definitely gonna get like more implants, more tattoos. Probably some scarification on my face and other parts of my body, things like that.
What is scarification? Because he's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, so it's basically just like a tattoo, but instead of putting the design in your body with ink, you're just cutting it into your body. So
and they're basically putting implants in your face, or
no, that's like you can rub ink into it to make it pop out more, but scarification at its purest form is just cutting the body and letting the scar be in the shape of a design.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think there's two different kinds of scarification.
Yeah.
There's scarification and skin peeling.
Yeah.
And what it is like, imagine you're a kid and you're running on a blacktop field and you run and skin your knee, and like that pink layer of flesh is showing.
Yep.
I think that's the goal.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that's what leaves the scar.
And like branding. Like
In a
right?
way.
Same thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
pretty much. Yeah, just any everyone scars differently. Like, so I'm jealous of the people that have like really nice hypertrophic scars, which is like a raised scar. For me, I just like it like turns like pink and it's cool and all, but like I think it looks really cool when like you're one of those people who can scar and it like raises off of your body. That's super sick.
You reposted this girl
Yeah.
who had these amazing scarification
Yeah,
details.
very
on her
cool.
neck.
I posted that one in particular just because thinking of it from a body modification artist perspective or a practitioner perspective of doing it, I would be sweating. Just because it's so close to your artery.
Right, I clicked
true,
on it and
yeah.
like they were like, pay
They're,
attention
like,
to the blue
right
veins.
over the arteries, yeah. And I was like, dude, you're wild for that.
We'll show that
Do they show the
picture.
process of it? Like
Some people do, yeah. It just depends. Yeah, I mean,
You-
like,
I've seen you follow a page that's private because they show probably some
yeah,
gory
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I follow a lot of people like that. Yeah.
What is the internet like in this like? This isn't a niche culture. There's so
Yeah.
many people that are involved in this and have interest in it. Like, what makes you just identified why you reposted that one thing, but what makes you repost something or what makes you follow somebody on the internet?
question?
that is a good question because nowadays, after doing this for so long, like you have to really catch my eye or like really do something crazy for me to be like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna follow you now.
Because Cardi B
Because-
follows you, right?
Yeah, she does.
Like he's
Yes.
like, come on, dude,
legit.
are you fucking kidding me?
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like love of the game. I love it all. I think it's all amazing. But yeah, I mean, if you were to like look at my Instagram feed, you'd probably be appalled.
When you get dressed, now we're focusing on a little bit of fashion. When you get dressed, do you focus on showing certain parts of your body or certain tattoos that mean something to you or that you like best?
Well, sort of, kind of. I mean, honestly, like, I'm not even anywhere close to where I want to be with tattoos yet, so I'm just kind of not really worried about it. But hopefully, when I get there, you know, it'll be more like that. But at the end of the day, I'm very simple. I'm just like, you know, jeans and a t-shirt and cool shoes type of guy. So I usually, like I said, like let all the other stuff speak for itself.
Your work is so good. I've seen you do things with my own two eyes.
He's gotta be like professional, right? Like
The bedside manner is
it's huge.
superbulous.
Huge.
It's like
Thank you.
hella impressive.
Thank you.
Because I only have tattoos. I don't have any
Right.
piercings on me, and that goes a long way.
We gotta change that one day.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll talk to my wife. Yeah. But in terms of when I go in for a tattoo,
Harrison loves piercing children, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh, I
dude.
fucking love it.
Wait. Our
No, he
daughter-
hates it.
Oh,
No, I'm
no.
kidding.
He hates it.
I hate
Our daughter's really cool. You can pierce yours. We'll get it.
I mean, it's not that I don't hate kids, but it's
That's
like,
fine. You can say you hate
yeah, it's like,
kids. I get it. It's like a barber wanting to cut children's hair. Like they don't want to do it.
Yeah, facts.
You know. But I take into account like being in a tattoo parlor, the person tattooing me. Like I've gone back to the same guy like 8 times
Right.
because of that whole thing. So I'm sure you've built an amazing clientele with.
I'll try to. I mean, I feel like I have a decent base clientele that comes back to me just because of, you know, the work I do and how I interact with them. I think some people really are like resonate with that because of, I don't know why. I think maybe it might be like my calm demeanor or like the way I talk about things, but I have a lot of people that come back to me over and over and over again.
Great.
Yeah.
With piercings and body modifications, I would think that tattoos are kind of boring now. Or do you have any interest in
I don't
getting
think so.
new and more tattoos?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I hope to be one day almost like fully covered. I mean, I definitely want, I mean, maybe not like 100%, but I want to be like, you know, pretty much all the way there. So yeah, I don't think it's boring at all. It just depends on how you do it and what you want. I think people in the tattoo industry are innovating more right now than say like the piercing industry. But yeah, like there's cool stuff happening. Like there's this guy I follow who specializes in doing like brutal, he calls it brutal blackouts, where he's just, I mean, you know, the blackouts are getting super
You know, Machine Gun
popular
Kelly,
now.
he just got a
Yeah, he
blackout.
just got one, so it made it even more popular. But yeah, there's this guy I've been following for a while who just basically like, he just like ties people down to a table and just scratches on them with like a 300 mag needle. and for however long, and they're like crying. I just think that's super interesting and very
Because they want it.
Yeah, because
for sure.
It's consensual. It's consensual. They're paying for it. Yeah.
Do you see a difference? Well, okay, here's the big question that I'm sure a million people ask you. Do you also tattoo?
Absolutely not.
Right.
No.
So do you see a difference in getting pierced versus getting tattooing? Is there more value to either?
I don't think there's more than any other. I think it depends on the person getting it, what they think. I'm
talking about you. You're the piercer.
I mean, I like both. I'm not gonna start any wars here.
Is there a different? Oh shit!
There's a little bit.
Is there a different kind of respect for like the opposite side?
Yeah, I think so. At least in my experience, I've noticed, like, you know, when you say I meet a tattoo artist, like they understand that it's similar. Obviously similar but different, but they understand like the grind and the hustle and like what you had to do to get there, and you know, they're very similar in that type of way.
Tattooing has also become pretty Hollywood. Do you think piercing will ever get there?
I think it's getting there.
Yeah,
I think we're really coming in hot with that, honestly.
Do you want to be a part of it?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, I'm down to be a part of any of it, honestly. I mean, at the end of the day, I like, you know, like the down and dirty, like crazy body mods and piercings and all that fun stuff. But I think that's, you know, we got to get with the times, and that's probably where it's going for the most part. I think there will still be like the offshoots and like the misfits and stuff that do all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I feel like it definitely is getting more like Hollywood and high end and designer, if you like to say that, that type of thing.
Can we bring back the lip ring? I feel like
I've been trying to.
Well,
I've been trying to.
I'm a huge fan of like, and not to sound lame, but like Blink or The Used or
Yeah,
like
100%.
all those
Emo.
people. I feel like
2010 emo.
they all had like the lip ring.
Yeah.
So
and
Evan,
now it's not anywhere.
Evan,
No,
this is your time to
God.
shine.
Let's do it. I'm down.
You can bring back
Next week.
do the fucking snake
double?
bites.
That'd be sick.
Oh, the two.
It's just one on each side.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my wife would love that.
She probably would. You never know.
Okay. Basic question. Most painful experience you've had with any of the modifications or piercings that you've gone through?
So the piercings and modifications, if we're just talking about those, none of them really bother me. I think I have enough of a love for it to respect it and understand that it is going to hurt, but I think I can, what's the word for it?
You can psych yourself up for it.
Yeah, I guess. But like I can go to a place in my mind where I don't even really think about the pain. So that's not a big deal for me. Obviously a lot of them do hurt, but in my experience, like the healing for a lot of them is way worse than the actual like procedure itself. Okay. Like when I got my tongue split, your tongue is one of the fastest healing organs in your body, so it heals very quickly, but for those like 4 or 5 days that you're healing, it's like pure hell.
It just seems like you would just take a scissors and just cut it.
I've seen videos.
Yeah, man. You just scalpel.
Oh, wow.
Scalpel, right down the middle.
Yeah. God,
yeah.
Let me rephrase that. What was the most like invigorating or rewarding body mod or piercing that you've had?
Probably my tongue split, honestly.
Yeah.
I think because that was that was the first body mod I ever got. I went straight for it.
God damn! Yeah, what do people normally do? I
mean, I guess people start with everything, like maybe like I don't know, like scarification or like implants and stuff. But I had like just turned 18 and I went straight for it. Yeah, because I was so interested and so like excited to get into the industry that I found someone. Shout out my friend Alan. He's in LA.
Shout out Alan.
Yeah, he did it for me, and he's still a very good friend of mine to this day, and we talk a lot about.
Did he do this too?
Yes, he did. He's done pretty much almost all of mine.
Amazing.
So you trust him?
Yeah. He's a very good and knowledgeable body modification artist and piercer, and we're very good friends. And I've been trying to take knowledge from him where I can, because he's been doing it for like 20-something years.
So you're doing what you originally said. You found that person.
Right.
And now you're just going to follow along.
I'm trying to sneak in there. We'll see.
Not to be inappropriate,
What's up?
With your partner, obviously, or two. In terms of like
Partner?
Whoa.
That's a friend.
I'm sorry.
We work together.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. Well, I was gonna ask whether it be like making out or like foreplay. Like the tongue is gotta be somewhat
shit.
interesting in terms of that.
Lola?
I'm so sorry about that.
I've never had any complaints.
You've gotten positive feedback. From
Yeah,
them.
I've never had any complaints. That's for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Hey, if anyone needs help,
Yeah.
split the tongue.
So, so back to that dick piercing earlier.
Yeah.
How was it?
It's great. Went well.
You didn't actually do the dick
No, we
piercing.
didn't do it
That was
once of that.
amazing.
Yeah, no. I actually had set up for Sandra, our other body piercer, to get a large gauge date piercing.
We
Yeah.
have not enough time to go through every
Large
single fucking
gauge
part that you
dick
could
piercing.
Yeah.
pierce. The date, because I know this, is like the center flap in your ear.
Yeah, it's like
they're
this
trying to
ring.
gauge that out.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can call it a gauge, but basically a large gauge is just, instead of piercing it with like a normal needle, you're gonna pierce it with something very thick,
We'll
like
put
a very
picture,
thick needle.
the
and
picture
a-
that
Yeah.
you posted right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Amazing.
sure. And yeah, so that's what I mean by large gauge. It's just a lot thicker than like normal jewelry, so it's a little bit more in depth and intense.
With your earlobes, how long did it take to get to where it's at now?
I've been doing it since I was like 17, so
So do you slowly
Like-
get bigger and bigger?
yeah,
gauges?
very
Okay.
slowly. Yeah, if you do it correctly, yeah, you do it very, very slowly, so you don't get lots of scar tissue and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been doing it for I think like 8 or 9 years now.
Okay, now
Yeah.
we're interrogating you because
Yeah,
you're
no,
so
like,
interesting.
Yeah,
But
these are all the basic questions. Yeah.
here I go. You ready? We're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
You ready? Where do you see piercing going in the next 10 years? And do you have any ideas to innovate or change the culture or the world as it is today?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I would love to do,
Like,
but
no fucking boundaries. What ideas do you have that you want to try out on somebody?
well, I don't know if I want to try anything yet because I don't feel like I'm that far into it to where I can start experimenting on humans. But yeah, I definitely want to.
What a shame. I was like so fucking willing to do anything.
I mean, I'll hit you up. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going like you said in the direction of more high end stuff, and I would like to hopefully one day have a shop somewhere that actually provides body modification in a way that's accepted and safe, and piercings as well, because there's not a lot of that here. Because here in America, obviously, it's a gray area because you're not an MD, so yeah, so it's a gray area. So I'm hoping that one day it can be to the point where it can be more regulated to where you can just walk into a shop and get it done.
Do you have plans of getting any degrees or a doctorate or
I'd love
training
to.
in
I'd love
medical
to.
field?
Yeah, I'm super. I love medical stuff. Like I said, I wanted to be a combat medic, and I've always been super interested in medical stuff and the human body. So, yeah, hopefully one day if I have time, I'd like to at least learn some, at least get EMT certified, maybe do paramedic, maybe do some pararescue, that kind of stuff. Just anything where, people are in a serious condition and need help quickly. That's the kind of stuff that I'm into, emergency trauma and trauma care, that kind of thing.
Trust this
Dude.
guy with my fucking life.
I'm all
Jesus
for it.
Christ.
When you sat down, you were nervous about being out of the loop of what we were going to talk about. I feel like our roles were reversed in that regard.
Yeah.
You led
but
this.
I feel
This
like
is
I
amazing.
learned. This is mind blowing. We've had about 15 guests on the show, and I think this is my favorite one. I'll be
I
honest.
appreciate it.
Agree.
Thank you.
Honestly, thank you so much for being on the
Yeah,
show.
of
Do you have
course.
anything else
Absolutely.
that you want?
Uh,
Anything?
I can't wait like in 20 years
Yeah,
when we're all
seriously.
getting like neon lights implanted
Yeah.
in my head.
Yeah.
I know
I
the
think
guy
it's
to
gonna
go
start right
to.
here. Do you want to promote anything?
Exactly, promote yourself.
I know Pierced by Harrison. Is
Yeah, that's my Instagram. If you guys would just want to throw up my Instagram somewhere,
Yeah,
but
we'll
yeah, that's the main thing. Just if anybody wants to get pierced, hit me up on there. That's where I'm always at. You can communicate with me about anything, piercing, body mods, whatever, and I will be there to get back to you.
Love it. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. This is the manliest of things that we've talked about.
Yeah, speaking of manly things, sort
Yeah,
of.
thanks, Vince.